Hello, my bookish babes. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Summer, and if you're new here, don't worry, so am I. I highly recommend you hit subscribe, follow along on my reading journey, and let's become bookish friends. Today, I have a fun little video for you that I've seen done quite a few times, and it is talking about my top book boyfriends. Yes! Okay, so when I was in high school, I read a lot of romance, smutty books. But then when I got back into reading, I kind of went straight into the horror genre because it changed the way I thought about books, changed the way I read. I'm just now getting back into the romance and re-appreciating the love stories and the men that we women can write, let's be honest. So I have 8 book boyfriends for you today that I would like to share with you, and I'm sure some of you already know. So let's get into it, shall we? I think we shall. Starting off at number 8. This one I read a while back, and that is Michael Finn, and this book is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, and the way this man loved his woman was so sweet. If you don't know, this series is all about either the male love interest or the female love interest have some sort of disability, and this one, she is autistic, and so she has just to deal with some of those things. And basically she's never been kissed, and she wants to kind of find someone to settle her life down with, but she feels that she might need some practice before she does that. She hires an escort, which already I love, and she hires this escort, and she has like a list of the things that she wants to do before she goes out and tries to meet someone. And that's when Michael comes into it, and he is part-time escort and full-time wants to be a dressmaker or a fashion designer. And so when he gets involved with her, he's so patient with her, so caring, so understanding, and he also goes out of his way when he realizes that she has a very particular sensitivity to the way certain fabrics and clothes fit on her, that he goes out of his way to make her clothes and dresses so that she is comfortable. And if that is not just perfect book boyfriend material, I don't know what is, okay? I just thought he was so sweet, and I just enjoyed every second of him and their romance. It was very cute. Okay, let's move on to number 7, and that would be Graham Montgomery, and that book is Never Seduces Scott by Maya Banks. And this one I read so long ago, but Graham has always stayed with me and my heart, because what he does for this woman is so beautiful, how he learns who she is. So basically this story takes place in, you know, the time of the when was the medieval times, I guess. And basically she had an accident on a horse, leaving her deaf, but it's in these medieval times where no one really understands, and so instead of her trying to even attempt to communicate that she's fine, she just can't hear, everyone kind of just assumes that she's been touched, is what they call it, touched. And so she's like, okay. So even though her family loves her dearly, they also think she's been slightly touched. So she gets involved in this arranged marriage, because that's what happened back then, to help her family politically and just like financially. And so she gets married to Graham, and at first like things are weird, of course, and then he's so gentle with her from the start, and he starts to realize, oh, girl is actually extremely intelligent. And he starts to realize that she can communicate, she understands what's happening, she's fully there, she just can't hear. So he starts to do specific things around his castle, and he makes sure that she always can see his lips when he's talking to her, and he makes sure that people around her understand. And even before she got to the castle, he made sure that his whole castle people didn't treat her any differently because of her affliction, is what they also called it. So I just thought it was so sweet, and their love story as it unfolds is beautiful, and it was, oh, he just has always stuck with me. And I have reread that book so many times. In fact, it's the only book I have in this series because I just love it so much and think the world of Graham. And Evelyn was beautiful too. She's strong, she's smart, and she didn't take no crap from this man from start to finish, and I loved that. Next up on the list is number 6, and that would be Redford Red Morgan. And I just adored this guy. He is from Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Herbert. He was so gentle, he was so sweet. She was also, I believe, autistic, and so she was just kind of messy and disorganized and just kind of all over the place, and he just loved her for who she was, enjoyed that she liked all her papers and notebooks and pens and had different systems for different things, and he just was really patient, really gentle, and really kind to her, and I just loved him for that. They also had very silly banter. This was the first romance book that made me cry because it was just so sweet, natural, and beautiful in my opinion. So yeah, he'll probably forever be on my book boyfriend list because he was just so kind and beautiful. Moving along, boyfriend number 5 would be Levi Ward, and he is from Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I loved his kinky nerdiness. I loved this man for how kinky he was, but also how nerdy he was, and his banter, the things he said, his willingness to be silly and fun, even though he had a very stressful job. And I just enjoyed every moment with Levi Ward and think about him often for how nerdy but kinky he was. So yeah, one of my favorite romance STEM series by Ali Hazelwood, which is an unpopular opinion, but I don't know how you don't love Levi Ward. I just loved him so very much. On to number 4, which is going to be Weston Belmont, and he is just absolutely the sweetest dad ever, and he belongs in Wild Eyes by Elisa Silver in the series Rose Hill. And I mean, the men she writes are beautiful, but Wes, my gosh, not only is he silly, is he just a fun dad, but knows the importance of also having your own adult life outside of your children, which is beautiful, and pushes it on his friends and his guys, and I loved that. But he also was so gentle. You're gonna see a theme here. Apparently gentle is very important to me, but he's so gentle and recognized that she had some past trauma, family trauma, and he recognized that and was very caring and very loving and very patient And even though he adored her because she was a superstar, he never let on to that. He never treated her like that. And he just got to know her and got to know who she was as a person outside of her stardom and loved her even more. So yeah, but also I fell in love with him for the way he was with his children. He had 2 kids. One of them was very nonverbal, but he was just mainly shy. He was nonverbal with strangers, but he connects very closely with, I forget her name, and they connect on a certain level. But Wes in general, with his daughter, with his son, beautiful, beautiful man, and I just fell in love with him. And if I ever wanted children, that's how I'd want my husband or my man to be with my children, because they are precious little beings, and it is our responsibility to make them safe and understand that they're safe and loved, and it is okay. And he did a wonderful job in that. Such a beautiful book, such a beautiful man, and we loved it. Okay, moving on to book boyfriend number 3, and that is of course Dusty Tucker, and he is in the 4th and final book of The Rubber Blue Ranch by Lila Sage, and his book is Wild and Wrangled. It just came out, and the entire time I was reading his story, I was in love. I mean, he loved this woman. He was down bad for this woman. He did everything he could for this woman, and I was obsessed from page 1 to the last page. Obsessed with this man. The notes, the cuteness, the buying of a house, just, oh my gosh, the way this man loved his girl. We all deserve to be loved that way, okay? It was beautiful. It was so beautiful, and he never not loved her, and he was never ashamed of that love. Like, he was so okay with loving the shit out of this girl and being down bad. He did not care, and I loved him for it. It was so good. He is so good, and I just know that a little cowboy man, whew, you gotta love him. You gotta love him, okay? Moving on to number 2, and this one, of course, is, I mean, I say of course, but it is Rasan from Akatar by Sarah J. Maas. I love me a dark morally gray man, and he in book 1 and 2 was everything. He of course is less morally gray as you get to know him, but when you don't really know him that well and you are kind of figuring out his character and he's just a dark baddie, you're like, okay, I see you. And he just screams sex appeal. He is hot. He says the hottest things, and he does the hottest things for Feyre. He forces her to read, or learn to read, which we love a man who says, no, you need books in your life. And I just love him for it. Like, the fact that the first time he initiates his little bargain, and he's like, oh, you're gonna spend this week learning to read, and then the notes he starts giving her, like, it's so good, it's so funny. So their banter is great. I'm sorry, a man who says you can't read, no, we need to change that. Hot. But then his willingness to drop everything to be there for her. I mean, Fae men are something different, okay? Can we just be honest? There's something different. And I just, you can't help it. You're just in love. And I was in love. And I knew when Mr. Tall, Dark, and Mysteriously Handsome walked up into the pages, he was gonna be trouble, okay? And then we got to know him, and I was like, damn, this man, fabulous. We love him, and we love him. So yeah, I'm sorry not sorry about that. And I'm also sorry not sorry about the next one, which I'm sure you kind of see where this is going. This man is my book husband, okay? He is husband status no matter what. And that, of course, is Rowan Whitehorn. From Throne of Glass, Sarah J. Maas. He's my everything, okay? And a lot of people I know have some feelings about him because at one point when they first meet, they do not like each other and there's a lot going on and something crazy happens and you're just like, God damn. But from the moment he is in her life, he pushes her in a way to force her into like not going down a self-destructive path. He forces her into allowing herself the place to forgive herself but also love herself. They connect on lost love, and he never makes her feel any kind of way about how she feels about that lost love. And then when their romance starts, I'm gonna cry. It is the most beautiful, heartwarming, everything I needed, and reminded me about love and what love can do and why it's important. And oh my gosh, it was everything. And he was so just willing to be her partner and understand her and stand with her and never question her decisions because he understood her intent and understood what she needed. And when something horrible happens, he was there to give her the space. Even when it was hurting him, he knew that she was healing and he was there when she needed him, but never pushed too much. I cannot tell you the traumatic thing that Throne of Glass is, but how much she wrote in healing and love and kindness. And Rowan was everything. He was everything to me, and he is still everything to me. I don't think he'll ever be outdone in my heart because wow, I am down bad for that man. Down bad for Rowan Whitehorn, and I will not feel bad about it. I love him dearly, and I will meet him again in those book pages fairly soon because I cannot wait to read it again, even though it destroyed my soul. So there's that. And that, my friends, is my top 8 book boyfriends, at least up until today, which is April something 2025, okay? I plan on reading far more romance, dark romance, and fantasy romantasy, so I'm sure this list will adjust and change and evolve, but I will call it now. Rowan, you will always be my husband status, and I love you dearly. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you also have a ton of book boyfriends. Please tell me who your favorite book boyfriends are down below if they're not on my list, so that I can check them out and discover them for myself. And if you agree with any of my boyfriends, let me know who you are like yes, or who you're like, girl, please, the hell. I'd love to hear it, and yeah, let's keep the conversation going. But until next time, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope you're reading whatever is making your heart happy, and if not, DNF it, because that's okay. And I will see you very, very soon in the next video. Bye!